Hey, I was just thinking about what my perfect day would look like. Do you ever imagine yours?
All the time, especially on Monday mornings when I'm dragging myself to work. What would yours be like?
Well, it would definitely start with waking up naturally, no alarm clock screaming at me, maybe around 7 in the morning with sunlight streaming through my window.
7? That's still pretty early for a perfect day. I'd sleep until at least 9, maybe 10.
I know, but I love mornings. There's something magical about the quiet before the world gets busy. I'd make myself a fresh smoothie with mangoes, strawberries, and Greek yogurt.
Okay, that does sound good. For me, I'd start with a long, lazy breakfast. Fresh croissants, scrambled eggs with herbs, and at least 3 cups of really good coffee.
3 cups? You'd be bouncing off the walls. After breakfast, I'd head straight to the beach, the one near my childhood home, with the white sand and crystal clear water.
The beach? Really? I'd probably stay home and cook an elaborate brunch for friends. Maybe try that complicated French recipe I've been eyeing for months.
See, that's where we're different. I need the ocean. I'd spend hours swimming, reading a thriller novel under an umbrella, and just listening to the waves.
What about lunch? You can't stay at the beach all day without eating.
Oh, there's this little seafood shack right on the beach. I'd get fresh grilled fish, a huge salad, and this amazing coconut cake they make. Everything tastes better with sand between your toes.
Now you're making me hungry. In my perfect day, after cooking, I'd invite about 8 of my closest friends over. We'd eat, laugh, tell stories, maybe play some board games.
That sounds wonderful, actually. Very cozy. What would you do in the afternoon?
Probably take a long walk through the city, discover a new coffee shop I've never been to, sit by the window and sketch people passing by.
You and your coffee. I'd stay at the beach until sunset. There's nothing more beautiful than watching the sky turn orange and pink over the water.
Okay, I'll give you that. Sunsets are pretty spectacular. Then what?
Then I'd meet up with my best friend for dinner at this rooftop restaurant downtown, the one with the incredible city views and the pasta that melts in your mouth.
Fancy. I'd keep it simple and make homemade pizza with my roommate. We'd watch old movies and eat ice cream straight from the container.
That's sweet, though. Really comfortable. Would you go out at all?
Maybe around 10, we'd head to this jazz bar I love. Live music, dim lighting, the whole atmosphere is just perfect for ending the day.
Jazz bar? I didn't know you were into jazz.
There's a lot you don't know about me. What about you? How does your perfect day end?
I'd walk home slowly, maybe stop to get some flowers from that late night flower stand. Then I'd take a long hot bath with candles and relaxing music.
That's very zen of you. I'd probably fall asleep on the couch with my cat purring on my chest.
Your cat or anyone's cat.
My future cat, I don't have one yet, but in my perfect day, I definitely do.
Fair enough. Then I'd crawl into bed with fresh sheets, read a few chapters of a good book, and fall asleep feeling completely content.
You know what? Both of our perfect days sound amazing. Maybe we should try to make them happen sometime.
Maybe we should. Life's too short to only dream about perfect days.
Exactly. Though I have to say, your beach day does sound pretty tempting. Maybe I could trade one coffee shop for some ocean time.
And maybe I could skip the beach for one day and learn to make that French recipe with you.
You know what I was thinking about during that boring meeting today? What would constitute my absolutely perfect day?
Oh, I love this question. Tell me everything. Where would you be? What would you do?
It would start in the mountains, somewhere remote and peaceful. I'd wake up in a cabin with huge windows overlooking snow-capped peaks.
Alone? That sounds a bit lonely for a perfect day, doesn't it?
Not alone, but maybe just with 1 or 2 close friends. People who appreciate silence as much as conversation, you know?
I guess I can understand that. My perfect day would definitely involve more people, though. I'd wake up in a bustling city, maybe Paris or Barcelona.
Too much noise for me. After waking up, I'd make strong black coffee and sit on the porch watching the sunrise, paint the mountains golden.
While you're doing that, I'd be at a street cafe eating fresh pastries and watching the city come alive. I'd chat with the waiter, maybe make friends with tourists at the next table.
See, that would exhaust me before noon. After coffee, I'd grab my camera and hike to this waterfall I've always wanted to photograph. The trail would be challenging, but rewarding.
How long would this hike take?
Probably 3 or 4 hours, but it wouldn't feel long. I'd stop constantly to take pictures of wildflowers, interesting rocks, maybe some wildlife if I'm lucky.
4 hours of hiking? In my perfect day, I'd spend the morning visiting art museums, the Louvre, perhaps, or some smaller galleries with contemporary pieces that make you think.
Would you go alone or with someone?
I'd go with a friend who loves art as much as I do. We'd discuss each piece, debate the meanings, get inspired.
That actually sounds nice. Different from my day, but nice. What about lunch?
Lunch would be at this charming bistro with outdoor seating. I'd order something I've never tried before, maybe escargot or coq au vin. I'd practice my French with the server.
Adventurous. I'd pack a simple lunch before leaving the cabin. A sandwich, some fruit, nuts. I'd eat it by the waterfall, listening to the water crash down.
No hot meal? That's dedication to your mountain experience.
It's not about the food, it's about the moment, being surrounded by nature, feeling small in the best way possible.
I get that. For me, the afternoon would be about exploring neighborhoods. I'd walk through narrow streets, pop into bookshops, buy some vintage postcards.
I'd spend my afternoon fishing in a mountain lake. I probably wouldn't catch anything, but that's not really the point.
What is the point then?
The quiet, the rhythm of casting the line, being completely present in the moment without distractions.
You're making me want to try fishing now. Though in my day, I'd probably take a painting class in the afternoon. Something fun with other creative people.
A class? That's still structured, though. Don't you want complete freedom on your perfect day?
For me, freedom includes learning and connecting with others. I love the energy of creating something together.
Fair point. As the sun starts setting, I'd head back to the cabin, maybe light a fire, cook something simple like grilled vegetables and steak.
Finally, a proper meal. I'd find a rooftop bar at sunset, order wine, and watch the city lights start twinkling below.
Would you be alone then, or still with your friend?
Maybe I'd meet new people at the bar, strike up conversations, hear their stories, share some of mine.
You're definitely more sociable than me. After dinner, I'd sit by the fire with a good book, maybe some classical music playing softly in the background.
And I'd probably go to a live concert or a theater show. Something with energy and passion, something that makes me feel alive.
How would your perfect day end?
Walking back to my hotel through lit-up streets, stopping for gelato, feeling inspired and full of life. Then I'd journal about everything I experienced before falling asleep.
Mine would end stargazing from the porch. The sky in the mountains is incredible. Thousands of stars. I'd feel grateful and peaceful.
You know what's funny? Our perfect days are completely opposite, but they're both perfect for us.
Exactly. That's what makes them perfect. They reflect who we are.
I've been so stressed lately that I keep daydreaming about my perfect day. What would yours look like?
Mine would be beautifully slow and unrushed. I'd wake up around 8, no obligations, no deadlines looming over me.
8 sounds perfect. I'd wake up naturally too, then immediately head to a farmer's market. That's where my perfect day really begins.
A farmer's market? That's an interesting start. Why there?
Because I love seeing fresh produce, talking to farmers about their crops, getting inspired by seasonal ingredients. I'd buy way too many vegetables and herbs.
While you're doing that, I'd be at my favorite cafe, ordering an espresso and settling into a corner with my notebook.
Writing already? What about breakfast?
The cafe has these amazing almond croissants. I'd eat one slowly, savoring every bite while I write morning pages.
Morning pages? What's that?
Just stream of consciousness writing, whatever comes to mind. It's therapeutic and helps me clear my head.
Interesting. After the market, I'd come home and spend the whole morning cooking. I'd try that complex French technique I've been researching.
The whole morning cooking, what would you make?
Maybe a perfect bouillabaisse with homemade rouilly, or perhaps I'd attempt croissants from scratch, something challenging that requires patience and precision.
That sounds intense. I'd spend my late morning reading in a park. There's this perfect bench under an oak tree where the light filters through beautifully.
What would you read?
Probably poetry, maybe some Neruda or Mary Oliver, something that makes me see the world differently.
That's lovely. Around noon, I'd set a beautiful table, even though I'm eating alone. Good plates, fresh flowers, the whole experience.
You'd eat alone? That seems sad for a perfect day.
Not sad, intentional. I'd be fully present with the food, tasting every layer of flavor. No distractions, just pure appreciation.
I suppose I can see the appeal. For lunch, I'd meet an old friend at a quiet restaurant. We'd talk for hours about life, dreams, everything.
That sounds wonderful. After my elaborate lunch, I'd take a walk through the city, stopping at specialty food shops.
More food shopping? You really love this stuff.
Absolutely. I'd visit the Italian deli for fresh pasta, the spice shop for something exotic, maybe the cheese shop for a piece of aged Comté.
Your perfect day sounds delicious. After lunch, I'd take a nap. Just an hour, sleeping in the afternoon sun.
A nap? Really?
Why not? There's something luxurious about sleeping in the middle of the day when you have nowhere to be.
I guess I'm too high energy for naps. In the afternoon, I'd bake something. Maybe a tart with the fruits I bought at the market?
Do you ever stop cooking?
Not on my perfect day. Cooking is my meditation, my art form, my joy.
When I wake up from my nap, I'd make a pot of really good tea and write more. Maybe work on that novel I keep talking about but never finishing.
You're writing a novel? That's ambitious.
It's more of a dream than a reality at this point. But in my perfect day, the words would flow easily and I'd actually make progress.
As evening approaches, I'd invite 3 or 4 close friends over for dinner. I'd serve them a 5-course meal.
5 courses? That's a lot of work.
But that's the joy. Watching their faces as they taste each dish, explaining the techniques I used, seeing their appreciation.
That does sound rewarding. For dinner, I'd keep it simple. Maybe order Thai food and eat it while watching the sunset from my balcony.
After dinner, we'd move to the living room. I'd serve coffee and the tart I made, and we'd talk until late.
That sounds lovely. I'd spend my evening writing letters. Actual, handwritten letters to people I care about.
Letters? People still do that?
Some of us do. There's something special about putting pen to paper, taking time to express yourself thoughtfully.
How would your perfect day end?
I'd make chamomile tea, read a few more poems, and fall asleep feeling like I'd lived fully but gently.
Mine would end cleaning my kitchen, which I know sounds weird, but there's satisfaction in having everything clean and organized after a day of creation.
Actually, I get that. It's about completion, right?
Exactly. Then I'd sleep deeply, already dreaming about what I'll cook tomorrow.
I was talking to a patient today who asked me what my perfect day would be. It made me really think about it.
And what did you come up with? I'm curious what someone as busy as you considers perfect.
Honestly, it would start with no pager, no emergency calls, no hospital. Just complete freedom from work.
That's setting the bar pretty low. What would you actually do with that freedom?
I'd wake up late, maybe 9 or 10, and have breakfast with my family. Pancakes, bacon, fresh orange juice. Everyone sitting together, no one rushing.
That's sweet. My perfect day would start in a completely different city. Maybe Tokyo or Istanbul, somewhere I've never been.
You'd want to wake up somewhere unfamiliar? That sounds stressful to me.
Not stressful, exciting. I'd wake up in a beautiful hotel room with a view of the city, order room service, and plan my day of exploration.
After breakfast, I'd take my kids to the park. Not for any particular activity, just to play. Push them on swings, maybe kick a ball around.
How old are your kids again?
7 and 9. Perfect ages where they still want to hang out with their dad, you know?
That's adorable. While you're at the park, I'd be wandering through ancient temples or modern art museums, taking hundreds of photos.
You'd go alone or with someone.
Probably alone. I love the freedom of traveling solo, going wherever interests me without compromise.
I can respect that. Around lunchtime, we'd have a picnic. My wife would pack sandwiches, fruit, homemade cookies.
Your wife does all of the packing?
Fair point. In my perfect day, maybe I'd pack the picnic. Show my appreciation for once.
Now we're talking. For lunch, I'd find some tiny local restaurant where tourists never go. I'd point at the menu and hope for the best.
You're braver than me with food. After the picnic, maybe we'd go to the beach or a lake. Let the kids swim while I actually relax for once.
When's the last time you truly relaxed?
I honestly can't remember. Probably before medical school. But in my perfect day, I'd lie on a blanket, read a novel that's not a medical journal, and actually finish it.
What kind of novel?
Maybe a thriller or historical fiction, something that lets me escape completely.
In my afternoon, I'd get lost in the city streets deliberately. No map, no plan, just discovering hidden cafes and interesting architecture.
Doesn't that make you anxious, being lost in a foreign city?
That's the best part. Some of my favorite travel memories happened when I was completely lost.
You're definitely more adventurous than me. As the afternoon winds down, I'd take my family for ice cream. There's this place near us that makes incredible flavors.
What's your favorite flavor?
Salted caramel, always. My daughter loves strawberry. My son gets mint chocolate chip every single time.
Creatures of habit. I'd probably try something weird I'd never heard of before.
For dinner, I'd cook. Maybe grill steaks and vegetables, make a big salad. Nothing fancy, just good food made with love.
You cook too? Is there anything you don't do?
I rarely get to cook anymore, but in my perfect day, I'd have time for it. What about your dinner?
I'd probably go to a rooftop restaurant, order local specialties, and watch the sunset over the unfamiliar city skyline.
Alone still? That doesn't make you lonely?
Sometimes solitude is the best company, but maybe I'd strike up a conversation with someone interesting at the bar.
For after dinner, we'd do family game night. Board games, lots of laughing, probably letting the kids stay up too late.
That sounds really nice, actually. More meaningful than most things we do.
What would your evening look like?
I'd walk through the city at night when everything's lit up and magical. Maybe find a jazz club or a local music venue.
My perfect day would end tucking my kids into bed, reading them stories, then sitting on the couch with my wife, just talking.
What would you talk about?
Everything and nothing. Our hopes, memories, dreams, things we never have time to discuss normally.
Mine would end in my hotel room, organizing all my photos and writing in my travel journal about everything I discovered.
You know what? Both of our days sound perfect in completely different ways.
That's because they reflect what we need most. You need connection and peace. I need adventure and freedom.
Exactly right. Maybe someday I'll have more perfect days like that.
Me too, though I should probably also appreciate the simple joys you described. I had the most beautiful meditation this morning, and it got me thinking about what my ideal, perfect day would look like.
A perfect day? Man, I'd probably still be asleep at the time you're meditating.
That's okay. Everyone's rhythm is different. For me, it would start at sunrise, around 5:30 or 6.
5:30? That's when I'm usually going to bed. But okay, go on. What happens at this ungodly hour?
I'd do sun salutations on my balcony, greeting the day with gratitude. Then I'd meditate for at least an hour, really connecting with my inner self.
An hour of meditation? I can barely sit still for 5 minutes. My perfect day would start around noon, waking up slowly without an alarm.
What would you do first when you wake up?
Probably pick up my guitar and play whatever comes to mind. Morning music, even if it's afternoon for normal people.
That's beautiful in its own way. After meditation, I'd make a smoothie bowl with fresh fruits, granola, chia seeds, all organic, of course.
Of course. Meanwhile, I'd make strong coffee and probably eat leftover pizza from the night before.
Pizza for breakfast? Your poor body.
Hey, no judgment in perfect days, remember? Besides, cold pizza is underrated.
Fair enough. After breakfast, I'd take a long walk in nature, maybe through a forest or along a beach, really feeling connected to the earth.
While you're communing with nature, I'd be in my studio, working on new songs. The afternoon light is perfect for creativity.
Do you write alone or with others?
In my perfect day, probably alone for a few hours, then invite some musician friends over to jam and see where the music takes us.
That sounds wonderful. Around mid-morning, I'd attend a yoga class taught by one of my mentors. Advanced poses, deep stretches, beautiful flow.
More yoga? Didn't you already do yoga at sunrise?
You can never do too much yoga. It's not just exercise, it's a spiritual practice.
I guess that's like how I feel about music. You can never play too much.
Exactly. After class, I'd have lunch at this vegetarian cafe I love. They make incredible Buddha bowls with tahini dressing.
Buddha bowls? Is that like regular bowls but more enlightened?
It's just a healthy grain bowl with vegetables and protein. What would you eat for lunch?
Probably Vietnamese pho or tacos from that food truck downtown. Something with flavor, you know?
Your taste and mine are very different. In the afternoon, I might get a massage or try a float tank session.
A float tank? What's that?
It's this pod filled with salt water where you float in complete darkness and silence. It's incredibly meditative and healing.
That sounds like my nightmare. I need sound and stimulation. I'd spend the afternoon exploring record shops, finding vintage vinyl.
Do people still buy records?
Absolutely. The sound quality is warmer, more authentic. Plus, there's something special about physically holding the music.
I can appreciate that. It's about the experience, not just the convenience.
Exactly. Around evening, I'd grab dinner with my band. Somewhere loud and fun, probably a burger place with good beer.
And I'd make a light dinner at home, probably a big salad with roasted vegetables, quinoa, and homemade dressing.
Do you ever eat anything indulgent?
Sure. In my perfect day, I'd have some dark chocolate for dessert. 70% cacao, very mindfully eaten.
Mindfully eaten chocolate? You're something else. After dinner, my perfect day really begins. I'd go to a live music venue.
To perform or watch?
Both. Maybe I'd sit in with the band, play a few songs, then watch other musicians blow my mind with their talent.
That sounds exciting. My evening would be much quieter. Maybe a restorative yoga class followed by journaling at home.
What would you journal about?
Gratitude mostly. All the beautiful moments from the day, the lessons learned, the growth experienced.
That's actually really nice. I should probably do more of that reflection stuff.
It's never too late to start. How would your perfect day end?
Probably around 3 or 4 in the morning, after an incredible jam session with new friends I met at the venue. I'd come home buzzing with inspiration.
3 or 4 in the morning? My perfect day would end around 9 with a cup of herbal tea and maybe some gentle stretching.
9 p.m.? That's when the night is just getting started.
And that's why our perfect days are so different. I'd do a short evening meditation, then sleep deeply and peacefully.
I'd probably play guitar in bed until I fell asleep mid-song, which happens more often than I'd like to admit.
You know what, though? Despite being complete opposites, both our days sound genuinely perfect for who we are.
That's the beauty of it, right? Perfect doesn't mean the same thing to everyone.
I've been thinking a lot about this lately. What would your absolutely perfect day look like from start to finish?
Oh, I love planning, even hypothetical days. Mine would start early, maybe 6 a.m., with a detailed to-do list already made the night before.
A to-do list? On your perfect day? That's the first thing I'd get rid of.
But that's what makes me happy. I love checking things off, feeling productive and accomplished.
Interesting. My perfect day would start with no plans at all. I'd wake up whenever my body decides, probably around 8 or 9.
No alarm?
Never. In my perfect day, alarm clocks don't exist. I'd lie in bed for a while, just thinking and looking at the light coming through the curtains.
While you're doing that, I'd already be at the gym, doing a high-intensity workout. Nothing starts my day better than endorphins.
The gym sounds like torture. After slowly waking up, I'd make pour-over coffee, really taking my time with the process.
How long does that take?
About 15 minutes, but it's meditative. The smell, the ritual, it's all part of the experience.
Fair enough. After my workout, I'd have a protein smoothie and start tackling my list. Maybe organize my closet or plan next month's events.
You'd organize on your perfect day? That's dedication.
Organization brings me joy. What would you do after your elaborate coffee ritual?
I'd grab my camera and just wander. No destination, no goal, just seeing what catches my eye in the morning light.
Where would you wander?
Maybe the old part of the city, where the architecture is interesting, or the botanical gardens if the flowers are blooming.
That sounds peaceful, actually. Around mid-morning, I'd meet friends for brunch at that trendy place downtown, the one where you need reservations weeks in advance.
You'd make reservations for your hypothetical perfect day?
Of course! Even in fantasies, I like things planned properly. What about lunch for you?
I'd probably forget about lunch until I'm really hungry, then grab something simple from a food cart, maybe a falafel wrap or something.
Just like that? No research on the best falafel place?
Nope. Sometimes the best discoveries happen by accident. After eating, I'd find a quiet spot and edit the morning's photos.
On your phone or computer?
Computer, definitely. I'd sit at a cafe with good light, order more coffee, and lose myself in the editing process.
How long would that take?
Hours, probably. When I'm in the zone with photography, time disappears. What would your afternoon look like?
I'd probably coordinate a surprise party for a friend. Even in my perfect day, I can't resist planning something special for others.
You'd work on your perfect day?
It's not work when you love it. I'd pick out decorations, coordinate with vendors, make sure every detail is perfect.
I suppose that makes sense. For you, creating experiences for others is fulfilling.
Exactly. What about your evening? You can't edit photos all day.
No. As the sun starts to set, I'd head to my favorite spot.
There's this hill overlooking the city where the light is magical during golden hour.
What's golden hour?
It's the hour before sunset when the light is soft and warm. Every photographer lives for golden hour.
Sounds beautiful. I'd be setting up the surprise party, making sure guests arrive on time, coordinating the big reveal.
That sounds stressful, but I guess you thrive on that energy.
I do. There's nothing better than seeing someone's face light up with surprise and joy.
That is pretty special. After shooting the sunset, I'd maybe meet one close friend for a quiet dinner.
Just one friend?
One is enough for me. We'd go somewhere cozy, talk about life, art, meaningful things. No small talk.
Meanwhile, I'd be at the party, making sure everyone's having fun, the music's good, the food's flowing.
How many people would be at this party?
Oh, at least 50, maybe 75 if everyone can make it.
75 people? That's my idea of chaos, not perfection.
And your quiet dinner with one person sounds lonely to me. But that's what makes us different.
True. After dinner, I'd walk home slowly, taking random photos of night scenes. Neon lights, empty streets, that sort of thing.
Night photography? Isn't that difficult?
It's challenging, but that's what makes it interesting. The city looks completely different at night.
As the party winds down, I'd help clean up, say goodbye to everyone, and head home feeling energized and happy.
Energized. I'd be exhausted after being around that many people.
Different strokes. How would your perfect day end?
I'd get home, make herbal tea, and go through all the day's photos one more time. Then I'd fall asleep satisfied with what I created.
Mine would end journaling about the party, already planning the next event, excited about future possibilities.
You really never stop planning, do you?
Nope. And you really never stop photography. That's what makes us who we are.
I guess our perfect days reflect our souls in a way.
That's actually quite poetic for someone who claims to be all about visuals. If you could design your perfect day from scratch, what would it look like? I've been daydreaming about mine lately.
That's an interesting question. Mine would probably be quite simple. I'd wake up in a cozy room filled with books, rain pattering against the window.
Rain? In your perfect day? I'd want brilliant sunshine and clear blue skies.
But there's something magical about rainy days. They give you permission to stay inside and read without guilt.
I suppose I can see the appeal, though it's the opposite of what I want. My perfect day would start before dawn, actually.
Before dawn? Why so early?
Because I'd be going on an early morning dive. There's something special about being underwater as the sun rises.
A dive? Like scuba diving? That sounds terrifying.
It's not terrifying, it's transcendent. Swimming with sea turtles, seeing coral reefs, feeling weightless. There's nothing like it.
I'll take your word for it. While you're underwater, I'd be making the perfect cup of Earl Grey tea and selecting my first book of the day.
Just one book? What if you finish it?
Oh, I'd have several lined up. Maybe I'd start with classic literature, then move to poetry, then a fascinating nonfiction book.
After my dive, around 8 or 9, I'd have breakfast at a beachside cafe. Fresh fruit, yogurt, and strong coffee while watching the waves.
That does sound pleasant. My breakfast would be simple toast with jam, eaten while reading at my kitchen table.
You'd read while eating? Don't you want to taste your food?
I can multitask. Besides, a good book enhances everything. What would you do after breakfast?
I'd probably kayak along the coast, exploring hidden coves and looking for marine wildlife. Maybe I'd spot dolphins or seals.
You're very active. All this swimming and kayaking. I'd spend my morning in a comfortable armchair by the window, completely absorbed in my book.
For hours? Just sitting?
Just sitting and reading, yes. With occasional breaks to make more tea and gaze out at the rain.
We really are opposites. Around midday, I'd do some beach combing, collecting shells, looking for sea glass, maybe finding some trash to pick up.
You'd clean the beach on your perfect day?
Of course, part of loving the ocean means taking care of it. Plus, you never know what interesting things you'll find.
I admire that. For lunch, I'd make a simple sandwich and eat it while reading a book at my favorite library cafe.
Wait, you'd leave your house? I thought you were staying in all day.
Well, the library is basically an extension of my home. It's quiet, filled with knowledge, and there are people who love books as much as I do.
That's sweet, actually. After lunch, I'd take a boat tour to look for whales. That's on my bucket list.
Whales? Really? How close would you get?
Hopefully close enough to see them breach. Can you imagine watching a humpback whale jump out of the water?
It sounds magnificent, if not a bit frightening. I'd spend my afternoon in the library's rare books section, carefully examining old manuscripts.
What kind of manuscripts?
Maybe medieval texts or first editions of classic novels. There's something magical about holding a book that's hundreds of years old.
I can understand that. It's history in your hands. Around late afternoon, I'd probably do another dive, but this time in deeper water.
2 dives in one day? Aren't you exhausted?
Not when you're doing what you love. The afternoon light underwater is completely different. Everything looks blue and mysterious.
While you're exploring the depths, I'd be in a discussion group at the library, talking about contemporary literature and philosophy.
Philosophy? That's heavy stuff for a perfect day.
I find it stimulating. Good conversation about ideas makes me feel alive.
I feel most alive in nature. You feel most alive in intellectual discussions. Makes sense. What about dinner?
I'd eat at this quiet bistro near the library, order their soup and salad, maybe read a book of poems while I eat.
More reading. I'd have fresh seafood at a harbor restaurant. Grilled fish, roasted vegetables, a glass of white wine.
That sounds delicious. Would you eat alone or with someone?
Probably with a fellow marine biologist. We'd talk about our observations from the day, marine conservation, research projects.
So you'd talk about work even on your perfect day?
It's not work when it's your passion. Don't you ever discuss books with friends at dinner?
Fair point. As evening comes, I'd return home and light candles, creating a cozy atmosphere for more reading.
I'd take a sunset walk along the beach, looking for bioluminescent plankton in the waves.
Bioluminescent plankton? What's that?
Tiny organisms that glow blue when the water moves. It's like magic, the waves sparkling with blue light.
That actually sounds incredible. Maybe I'd briefly step outside to see something like that.
How would your perfect day end?
Falling asleep with a book on my chest, rain still falling outside, feeling content and intellectually satisfied.
Mine would end falling asleep to the sound of waves, my body tired from activity, my mind full of ocean memories.
Both sound perfect in completely different ways.
That's the beauty of perfect days. They're personal.
You know what I think about during those long cardio sessions? What my ideal perfect day would be like.
Let me guess. It involves a lot of working out.
Well, yes, but it's more than that. It would start at 5 a.m. with a sunrise run through the mountains.
5 a.m.? That's when I'm usually finishing up baking for the morning rush.
You're up that early too? I thought pastry chefs slept in.
We're up earlier than almost anyone. But if we're talking perfect days, I'd actually sleep until noon for once.
Noon? Don't you feel like you're wasting the day?
Not at all. Some of us are night people. I'd wake up slowly, maybe to the smell of fresh coffee someone else made for me.
After my run, I'd do a beach workout. Pull-ups on the monkey bars, sprints in the sand, maybe some yoga to stretch.
All before breakfast? That sounds exhausting.
It's energizing.
What would you do after waking up?
I'd experiment in my own kitchen, not the bakery's. Maybe try to perfect that croissant recipe I've been thinking about.
Croissants? Those are pure butter. How many calories are in those?
Who counts calories on their perfect day? Food is art, not just fuel.
I suppose you have a point. For breakfast, I'd make a protein smoothie and egg white omelet.
Egg whites? What about the yolks? That's where all the flavor is.
But the yolks have all the fat and cholesterol.
And all the richness and taste. In my perfect day, I'd eat fresh croissants with good butter and homemade jam.
We have very different relationships with food. After breakfast, I'd lead a group fitness class on the beach.
You'd work on your perfect day?
It's not work when you love helping people transform their lives. Seeing someone do their first unassisted pull-up is incredible.
That's actually really sweet. Around mid-morning, I'd visit the farmer's market looking for inspiration. Perfect strawberries, fresh herbs, unique ingredients.
The farmer's market is great. I go there for organic vegetables and lean proteins.
I go there for everything beautiful and delicious. After shopping, I'd spend hours developing a new dessert recipe.
Hours making dessert? What would you make?
Maybe an elaborate entremet with multiple layers, or a tart that looks like a work of art. Something that takes skill and patience.
For lunch, I'd have grilled chicken breast, quinoa, and steamed vegetables. Clean, simple, nutritious.
That sounds incredibly boring. No offense.
None taken. It's fuel for my body. What would you eat?
I'd probably snack on whatever I'm baking. Tasting is an essential part of the process.
Just snacking? Don't you get hungry?
When you're around food all day, you eat differently. Little tastes here and there, quality over quantity.
Interesting. In the afternoon, I'd go for a long bike ride along the coast, maybe 50 or 60 miles.
60 miles? That's insane. I'd spend my afternoon decorating my creations. Piping work, chocolate decorations, edible flowers.
Is there a lot of artistic skill involved in that?
Absolutely. A cake or pastry should be beautiful to look at before it's delicious to eat.
I never thought about it that way. After my ride, I'd swim in the ocean for about an hour. It's great for recovery.
More exercise? Don't you ever just sit and relax?
This is relaxing to me. The movement, the endorphins, feeling strong and capable.
Around late afternoon, I'd photograph my desserts. Lighting, angles, styling. It's almost as important as the baking itself.
For social media?
Sure, but also for myself. I want to remember what I created, see how I've improved.
For dinner, I'd cook fish on the grill. Maybe salmon with asparagus and sweet potato.
At least the sweet potato adds some flavor. I'd have friends over and serve them a 7-course tasting menu.
7 courses? How long does that take?
Hours. But that's the joy. Each course is a small, perfect expression of flavor and technique.
That sounds elaborate, but I can appreciate the craftsmanship. Do you exercise at all?
Does running around a hot kitchen for 12 hours count?
Not really, but I admire your dedication to your craft. After dinner, I'd do some light stretching and foam rolling.
Of course you would. I'd be cleaning up the kitchen, which is meditative in its own way.
How would your perfect day end?
Probably around midnight, falling asleep thinking about new flavor combinations and techniques to try tomorrow.
Mine would end around 9 p.m., reviewing my fitness journal and planning tomorrow's workouts.
9 p.m. The night is still young.
Not when you wake up at 5. But you know what? Both our perfect days involve a lot of dedication and passion.
Just for very different things. You sculpt bodies, I sculpt desserts.
And both require discipline, creativity, and love for what we do.
Exactly. Maybe we're not so different after all.
I've been interviewing people all week about their dreams, and now I'm curious. What would your absolutely perfect day look like?
That's a journalist question if I ever heard one. My perfect day would probably seem boring to you.
Try me. I find everyone's story interesting.
Well, it would start around 6 in the morning, but not because of an alarm. I'd wake naturally when it's light enough.
6 is early, but reasonable. I'd probably wake around 7, already thinking about the stories I want to chase.
Chase stories? Even in your perfect day?
Especially in my perfect day. I'd start by reading 5 different newspapers over strong coffee, international news, local stories, everything.
5 newspapers? I'd be in my garden by then, checking on my plants, seeing what grew overnight.
What kind of plants do you grow?
Everything. Vegetables, herbs, flowers. Right now, I'm really proud of my heirloom tomatoes. They're finally ripening.
That's lovely. After reading the news, I'd probably get a tip about an interesting story and start investigating.
Investigating what?
Anything. Maybe a local hero doing good in the community, or a small business with an amazing history, or a mystery that needs solving.
You'd work on your perfect day?
It's not work when it's following curiosity. Around mid-morning, I'd be interviewing someone fascinating, maybe an elderly person with incredible life stories.
While you're doing that, I'd be transplanting seedlings very carefully. Each plant needs the right amount of space, soil, water.
That sounds peaceful. Do you listen to anything while you garden?
Just the birds, the wind, the sounds of nature. Why add noise when the world is already full of good sounds?
I never thought of it that way. I always have podcasts or audiobooks playing.
What kind of podcasts?
True crime, history, interviews with interesting people. I'm always learning something new.
I learn from my plants. They teach patience, attention, respect for natural rhythms.
That's actually profound. Around lunchtime, I'd meet a source at a cafe, someone with information about a story I'm working on.
Does your perfect day have any moment that's not about work?
This is my passion, though. Okay, fine. After the cafe, I take a walk through different neighborhoods, observing people, imagining their stories.
Now you sound like a novelist, not a journalist.
Every journalist is some novelist. We look for the narrative in reality. What would you do for lunch?
I'd pick vegetables from my garden and make a fresh salad. Lettuce, tomatoes, cucumbers, all grown by my own hands.
That does sound incredibly satisfying. There's a story there, too, you know? The journey from seed to plate.
You really do see stories everywhere.
That's what makes life interesting. In the afternoon, I'd visit a library or archives, researching background for a bigger investigative piece.
Libraries are wonderful, quiet, full of knowledge. I'd be in my greenhouse, tending to my more delicate plants.
You have a greenhouse? That's impressive.
Just a small one, but it lets me grow things that wouldn't survive outside. Orchids, tropical plants, rare species.
Do you ever sell what you grow?
Sometimes, but mainly I give things away. There's joy in sharing beauty and food with others.
That's genuinely kind. Around late afternoon, I'd probably be writing furiously in a coffee shop. On deadline, but loving every minute.
Another coffee shop? How much coffee do you drink?
Too much, probably, but coffee shops are perfect for writing. The ambient noise actually helps me focus.
I need quiet to think. Late afternoon, I'd be watering everything, talking to my plants, checking for pests.
Talking to your plants? Does that actually help them grow?
Studies say it does. Plus, it helps me. There's something therapeutic about expressing care out loud.
I talk to my laptop sometimes when it's being slow, but I don't think it helps.
Maybe you need to be kinder to your technology. What about dinner?
I'd probably grab something quick so I can keep working. Thai takeout or a sandwich from the deli.
On your perfect day, you should have a proper meal. I'd cook something elaborate with my garden vegetables. Maybe ratatouille or a nice pasta primavera.
That does sound delicious, actually. Who would you cook for?
Maybe some neighbors, maybe just myself. The joy is in the preparation and knowing where everything came from.
In my perfect evening, I'd finally submit my story, feeling that satisfaction of meeting deadline with something I'm proud of.
And then, surely you'd relax after that.
I'd probably celebrate with drinks with other journalists, swapping stories, laughing about the day's chaos.
That sounds fun. I'd be sitting in my garden as the sun sets, just watching the colors change in the sky.
Alone?
Sometimes the best company is nature and your own thoughts. Don't you ever want solitude?
I suppose I should want it more than I do. I'm always seeking connection, conversation, information.
And I'm seeking peace, growth, natural beauty. Different paths, both valid.
How would your perfect day end?
I'd water one last time, say goodnight to my garden, then sleep deeply with the satisfaction of a day well tended.
I'd most likely end typing notes for tomorrow's stories, falling asleep with my phone still in my hand, already excited about what I'll discover tomorrow.
You really never stop, do you?
Neither do you. Your garden is always growing, always needing care. We're both dedicated to what we love.
At my age, I've had a lot of days, but I still think about what the perfect one would be. What's yours?
Mine changes constantly as I grow. Right now, it would probably start early, maybe 5:30, responding to international emails.
5:30? I remember those days. Now I'd sleep until 8. No pressure to wake up.
8 is late for me, but I suppose you've earned the right to sleep in. What would you do first?
I'd make coffee the old-fashioned way, in a percolator. Then I'd sit on my porch and watch my neighborhood wake up.
Just watching? Wouldn't you get bored?
Not at all. There's so much to see. Kids walking to school, neighbors greeting each other, birds at the feeder. Life happening.
I'd be checking markets, planning my day, scheduling meetings with potential investors.
Investors? That sounds stressful for a perfect day.
It's exciting, though. I'm building something, creating opportunities. That's what energizes me.
I remember that feeling. After my coffee, I'd call my children and grandchildren, just checking in, hearing their voices.
That's sweet. I'd probably do a video call with my team spread across 3 continents.
3 continents? That must be complicated.
It is, but it's also thrilling. We're working on launching a new product that could change our industry.
Around mid-morning, I'd visit my old school, walk the halls, maybe sit in on a class, talk to my former colleagues.
You'd go back to your old workplace on your perfect day?
Those walls hold 40 years of my life. I taught 3 generations of some families. There's history there.
I understand the sentiment, but I'm always looking forward, not back. I'd be touring our new office space, imagining how to optimize it.
Everything is about optimization and efficiency with your generation.
And everything is about tradition and nostalgia with yours. But seriously, what would you do next?
I'd have lunch with my best friend from college. We'd go to our favorite diner, the one that hasn't changed in 50 years.
50 years? Don't you want to try new places?
Sometimes the old places are the best. We know all the staff, they know our orders. There's comfort in that familiarity.
I'd have a working lunch with a potential mentor, someone who's already done what I'm trying to achieve.
Always networking, always building. Do you ever just enjoy a meal for the meal's sake?
Of course. But in business, relationships are everything. Every conversation is an opportunity.
In teaching, relationships were everything too, just different kinds. After lunch, I'd go to the library.
To read?
To volunteer. I help kids with reading twice a week. Seeing them improve, gaining confidence, that's beautiful.
That's genuinely wonderful. I should do more volunteer work. I'd spend my afternoon in strategy meetings, planning our next quarter.
More meetings. When do you breathe?
This is breathing for me. The challenge, the problem solving, the vision coming to life.
I suppose we all find energy in different places. In late afternoon, I'd work in my wood shop.
You have a wood shop? What do you make?
Toys for my grandchildren, picture frames, small furniture. Working with my hands connects me to something real and lasting.
That's actually really meaningful. I'd be networking at an industry event, making connections, learning about trends.
Another event? Don't you get tired of being on all the time?
Not when I'm passionate about what I do. Don't you miss the energy of working?
Sometimes, but I've earned my peace. There's value in slowing down, noticing details, being present.
I'll slow down when I'm your age. Right now, I need to build, create, achieve.
Just don't forget to actually live while you're building your empire. What about dinner?
Probably a business dinner with international clients. Somewhere impressive, making a good impression.
I'd have my whole family over. Grandkids running around, multiple conversations happening, chaos and love everywhere.
That sounds overwhelming.
It is, but it's the best kind of overwhelming. These are the moments that matter, the memories we're making.
You're right, actually. I should make more time for family. After my dinner, I'd probably review presentations for tomorrow.
Work again? Even at night?
Just for an hour. Then I'd probably answer some emails, check on our overseas operations.
And I'd play board games with my grandkids, then read them bedtime stories.
You read bedtime stories to them? How old are they?
The youngest is 5, the oldest is 8. They still love stories, especially from Grandpa.
That's precious. How would your perfect day end?
Sitting with my wife on the porch, holding hands, watching the stars come out, talking about our day, our lives, our blessings.
That's beautiful, really. Mine would end reviewing the day's achievements, setting tomorrow's goals, and falling asleep excited about the future.
You remind me of myself 30 years ago. All ambition and fire.
And you remind me of what I hope to become, content and grounded.
Maybe the perfect day changes as we change. What's perfect at 25 isn't perfect at 65.
That's wise. So maybe I shouldn't judge your porch sitting and you shouldn't judge my constant meetings?
Exactly. We're both living our perfect days, just at different stages of life.
I hope when I'm your age I can sit on a porch feeling as peaceful as you describe.
And I hope you achieve everything you're working so hard for. Just don't forget to enjoy the journey.
That's good advice. Maybe I need to slow down occasionally. Smell the roses, as they say.
And maybe I need to add a little more adventure to my routine. We could both learn from each other.
We definitely could. Thanks for this conversation. It's given me a lot to think about.